Hello, my lovelies. We are back with Smut. That's Stars, Magic, Underworld Talk. And I'm your host, Emily Iris, here with our lovely series guest, Kellyanne, the Compassion Creatrix. Hello, gorgeous.
Hello, darling. Here we are.
Yeah, thanks for being patient with us, all of you. I had some traveling, and then last week, us girls were getting hit so hard by Mercury in motherfucking retrograde and Leo season and the new moon, and we're going to talk all about that because today's episode is about moonifesting. And Kellyanne, please
Ooh.
say what you just said about sometimes we manifest with the moon.
Sometimes we manifest with the moon, and sometimes the moon manifests with us. Through
Yeah.
us.
Yeah. Exactly. That's what we're going to bring some clarity in on today. And I'm super excited to share this because I really think this is how we could all be engaging with our self development and our growth and our awareness and our spiritual health. If we could just know what was going on with the moon and why I'm feeling this particular flavor of nuts right now and what to do, how to calm it, how to work with it. And this will be fun. But before we do that, we're going to do our mini moonifesting right now and just talk about what's coming up when this podcast is released. And that's a new moon. Yay.
A new moon in Virgo. My
Yeah.
my moon.
Right?
I
That's
was
so
I
cute.
was born under a new moon as well.
Oh, that's cool to know.
Hmm.
I find that important. I'll notice when it's in my phase and I'm like, it's the best moon phase.
It's
It's my
the
birth
it's
phase.
the best one. And when I was getting I got this moon phase tattoo with some other women in my life, and when I was getting it, I just knew that it was going to be filled in. And I forgot why, like I didn't connect it to like I was born under a new moon, but
Oh,
when I got it filled in, it just felt right, and I was like later years later I think I was like, "Oh, that's why."
there it
And there
is.
it is.
And that's how the astrology should land. Like, oh, confirmation. Hello. So, yeah, next Saturday, so the 23rd, we have a new moon in Virgo, 0 degrees, which is so cool because that means the moon has gone through all the other degrees of Virgo over the past couple of years. And we get to start completely fresh in Virgo. Yum.
Sick.
Right?
Sick and
So
delicious.
the tarot card for this moon is our little working man. Yeah, and Kellyanne's holding that up for everyone listening. This is the Eight of Pentacles.
Our Eight of Pentacles, also known as Eight of Worlds in Voyager Tarot. And yeah, he's diligently filling orders for the Dark Lord, which is really funny for Virgo because we have like this sort of maiden form that is the symbol for one of the astrological signs. Like, we don't have, do we have a crone anywhere? Do we have a mother anywhere? I guess the crab is,
Cancer,
yeah,
yeah.
Cancer is connected with. Then who's connected
Pisces is
with?
the crone.
I mean, if anybody's the crone, it's got to be Pisces, because Pisces is the 12th and the last. I mean, that's crone age, if nothing else. But
Right.
yeah, it's interesting to have um, for the zero, for like the very beginning of that maiden's stage and that maiden's voyage. Weird to say. We have the Eight of Pentacles, and eight is a number that if you turn it on its side, it's the infinity symbol. It symbolizes creation. If you think about arachnids, spiders, they have eight legs and they're spinning webs. They're creating all the time. Um, and that connection of like creative energy and like the infinite sort of like life that is brought from that creative energy, connected with pentacles, which is I like worlds. I like worlds better because it really helps you to like frame. It's not like the emotional body or the mental
Right.
body or the, you know, spiritual body. It's the physical body,
Yeah.
and it's everything outside of you that affects you but also that you affect, and it is your home. Your body is your home space is also represented by pentacles. And it's interesting to think about Virgo having this sort of like almost world shifting creative energy right at the beginning, almost like, you know, when you like get super high and you have a lot of things to do, but you can't find one thing, so you go and you're like a whirlwind around your house, and you just go and you start cleaning and changing things and moving furniture. Like that's what I feel like is symbolized by the Eight of Worlds. The change card version of this is like
Yeah.
just that cycling movement, and you know, the connection with the four seasons here. We do have spring, summer, fall, winter represented here. And I think this new moon in Virgo, because it's new, because it's virginal in that sense, in that maidenhood sense, and we're at 0 degrees. I think this is going to be like a fresh start, but
Hmm.
not one that's necessarily like everything is changing. More so like you have a ton of influence. You're going to have a ton of influence over how things change, and you're going to be the one to like, you know, you might get like some intuitive hits about what needs to be changed or what needs your attention. You know, the Dark Lord might, you know, put in the order through you. You know, the moon might manifest through you. But I think we're going to have a lot of control too over like the design elements.
Yeah.
You know, because Virgo does have that like sort of structural, organizational, systematic quality to it. And I think there is a lot of connection with being able to like limit and restrain yourself so that all of the change doesn't feel overwhelming.
Oh, yeah, like titrate it and make a plan to make the change not so bumpy and leaving it all up to chance. That feels like Virgo making a plan. Are you kidding me? Yeah, of course. I'm
Yeah.
I love that you brought the maiden into this too, because Virgo, like when we think of what that meant when these archetypes were first created, like she's like a temple priestess. Like she's virginal in that way because she's doing the work every single day to be of service to her goddess, to her dark lord, perhaps. Because Virgo is also connected with Persephone. So it's so funny that they chose that specific verbiage for that card, like putting in orders for the Dark Lord. Of
Right.
course, Hades and Persephone, a match made in hell, you
A
know?
match made in hell.
And I'm getting too that there's a new opportunity for us to not be gullible maidens anymore because we're not.
Mm.
We're freaking grown women now, and we can claim our dark throne too. We can claim our journeys to hell that we take monthly or so. And
Or so.
we, yeah, yeah. And we can claim our dark power of like real dark feminine magnetism and manifesting, which is a lot of what moonifesting is. So there's going to be potential for both like that really nice clean slate and to just step into another level of what innocence is for us.
Yeah, I think that's part of the excuse me, that's definitely part of the like starting over kind of feeling that I get from this. But I also want to bring in that, like, there is a seasonal quality to it as well, because
Yeah.
if it's we've gone around and we're back again, um, there's there's sort of like a looking forward to whatever season comes next that you get to be preparing for. It always feels like when we talk about moonifesting, that even while we give some, like, oh, this might happen and this is good to focus on, it still feels so wide open. And I feel like
Oh
I
yeah.
always have a lot of people who are like, okay, yes, but what things specifically should I focus on and should I work on? And it's like, well, a lot of the times the best that you can do is take all of the cues and all of the hints that are kind of dropped to you from the universe at the time that you're getting to experience and harness that energy. But also, you can just drop in, like, what month is it? What season are we looking forward to? We're looking forward to, the autumn and the winter. Like, as I was looking at the card, I
Mm-hmm.
was really seeing like this planet kind of off in the winter category, and the deer that's like hiding in here. And um yeah, we get to have this sort of like newness and like planning. So if your moonifesting does veer toward planning, just keep it to like a short, it doesn't, you don't have to write out your 5-year plan or anything crazy like that. Give yourself like a 5-week plan, or a 5-month plan, if that feels good for you.
Or really a moon cycle plan from the new to the full moon. Here's what I'm focusing on, you know?
Yeah.
That's what we'll talk about. And I would be remiss if I did not say that there's going to be health stuff for this moon because it is in Virgo, and Virgo is manifesting health concerns to the surface that are telling us that something deeper is going on. So the new moon, it's not going to be intense, but like just notice what parts need a little shifting.
Notice when you get like a herpes flare up.
Yeah, exactly. Like stomach issues, well, Virgo digestion problems, like
Mm-hmm.
just kind of stay in tune and notice. Like I don't know why this isn't common information, but like IBS is an emotional issue. And of course nutritional, but like those are also closely tied too.
Yeah, our gut health really impacts our mental health, our emotional health, our overall well-being. Like, our guts are entire ecosystems in and of themselves.
Literally. Yeah. So important to listen to your gut, and when I say it, I mean it. Like
Literally.
notice what is shifting. Like look at your poop charts, people.
Look at your poop charts. I didn't know that there were poop charts, but yeah, look at them. Make your poop charts, look at them.
Fill them out, put them on your door.
Fill them out sounds crazy to me.
Yeah, I didn't know it does. Every day. Why did I come across a Reddit thread the other day that was like, my boyfriend takes his poops out of the toilet every day and weighs them on a scale. Is this normal? And I was like, oh no.
That's a different kind of fill them out. That's the fill them out that I imagined when you said that. And that's why I was like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
That's a lot. Good
That's a lot.
morning.
Hello. Jeez.
Right.
Well, our guts have 2 million neurons worth of neurological activity. It's the same as a full grown cat's brain or a 2-year old human child's brain.
What?
Yeah. You didn't know this? I feel like I say this all the fucking time. I feel like I'm repeating it in every piece of content. The place where I put content, I'm always like, And you guys gotta know that your gut's got 2 million neurons, because bruh, when you start thinking of your gut as a cat that is reacting to what's going on around you, it's like, oh, now I understand. Yeah, other than like coughing up hairballs, on the carpet, then you start to understand, like, oh, that's why I get such an ick from this person, and I feel like running away for no discernible reason. But if you saw a cat, if you saw a deer in the woods, go and look and start running away from something, you would probably run with them. You'd probably be like, oh shit, I need to book it. But we don't do that with our guts. Our guts are like, I need to run away from this. And we're like, shush,
Yeah.
how dare you be rude to this stranger who has not given me any evidence for liking them and respecting them and staying in their space. So,
Dang.
ugh,
So it's like literally an animal brain in
yes.
our gut.
Yes. And if you're
Wow.
not feeding it properly, then you're gonna have a lot of issues. Like I feel like a lot of depression and anxiety is grounded in not being able to make that connection and not being able to like be so present and so healed in your gut that you can remain in the present and you can listen to those signs and signals from your body that help you to feel more like yourself and more um, connected with what your body's telling you.
Right. That makes so much sense. Oh my God. I know that like a lot of our dopamine is produced in the gut too, like our happy, feel
Yep.
good chemicals. Dang. And I feel like I have to bring in like vegetarianism and veganism into this conversation too, because
Yeah,
if
I
you
was gonna
have,
say you just started on like your journey pretty
yeah,
recently.
reset.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really does shift things when you're not consuming other living beings' stress chemicals and hormones. And like there's something energetic too about eating the flesh of something else.
Right. And I think uh it's funny, I just saw something on YouTube today. Oh, I just saw the Black Forager on YouTube today. I
I
didn't even
love
know she was
her.
on YouTube, but I'm off of Instagram. I've been off of Instagram for half a year now, and I've
Nice.
just been like really missing her. I'm glad to have seen her in Dropout content, but I was just like, I just need some more filthy veganism. And whenever she says, "Cause I'm a filthy vegan," and she sings it, I'm just like, yes. But I was like looking in the comments section and people saying some things about some vegan things, and I was just like, yeah, I get the sense that people don't really know how bad it is. That like, you can live an agrarian lifestyle and you can, eat omnivorously centuries ago, and it would
Mm-hmm.
be fine, and your body would be able to process it. um and it might not be the best for you, and it might be. Like our all of our guts, have different microbiomes, so like they all need slightly different things. But if you start to recognize that, like, the lives of the animals that you eat have different lives than they used to. Whether or not you believe animals have souls and their own personalities, which my mother-in-law doesn't believe that dogs have souls, and she's had dogs and she still has dogs, and I'm like, where is this
Weird.
going? Where is this going? What's going on
Nowhere.
here? Honestly. But I think about how, like, most folks don't know that the animals that they're eating have lived lives of fear and stress and pain all the time. And if that's what we're putting into our gut, and it's we create happy chemicals from our guts, and we're putting in
Right, right,
somebody
right.
else's fear chemicals into our guts, it's just like triple the work of like
Yeah.
processing.
And especially for the sensitives out there, like, heed these words. Because, like, if you're sensitive to just being in a room with someone in a bad mood, like, this is probably contributing to the situation too without you realizing it. And it's like really no shame and no shade. It's just no. The more you know.
The more you know, the better chances you have of saying no to the right things. And
Right.
it's not like a right or wrong kind of thing when it comes to veganism or eating plants and animals. It's like a an awareness thing. You
Yeah.
want to not be ignorant of what your body has to go through because you're just like consuming. Same with media. When we get to the part in The Artist's Way where it's a reading deprivation, we have to
Dude.
convert that because it was written 30 years ago. We have to convert that into a full media deprivation, a full media blackout.
Hmm.
What you're consuming matters for your gut, for your mind, for your heart,
Yeah.
for your soul.
So important.
It all matters. And it's all coming to a head at this new moon in Virgo.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I was like, somebody has to
I
bring it
know.
back.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I'll circle it back too because the constellation that it lands on is Ursa Major's butt. So the butt of the bear. So we're in here talking about gut stuff and
Poop
I'm like,
charts.
well, yeah, yeah, it all makes sense. I usually am like, oh, it's a Scorpio moon butt stuff, but no, this time it's Virgo and we're talking about bear
And butt
butts.
stuff. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Oh, thank goodness we've had our day. Virgos get butt stuff. Oh, good for
I know.
us.
I know, right? All right.
Finally.
Anything else? Anything else for the new moon in Virgo that you feel needs to be, no, illuminated? It won't be because it's a new moon.
Got him.
All right, cool. Let's get into Moonifesting then. I
Yeah.
mean, I feel like it's impossible to have that little beginning segment without talking about it. But, like, for real, what are we doing when we're manifesting with the moon? And I think I want to start with what you said at the very beginning, like that manifesting, we might think it's about making a vision board and like getting the job, getting the man, getting the Louboutins, like whatever the fucking vision is. But really often what is happening is like our waters, our inner 75 to 80% water body is getting like moved by the moon and we are manifesting collective consciousness through our consciousness.
Yeah,
Now, know the same.
which is why it makes sense that we would be able to say there's a new moon in Virgo and 0 degrees coming, and here are some of the things that you might be experiencing because we're all touched by the moon. We're all tugged and pulled by the moon like the tides. And I don't think we haven't had this episode yet where we've talked about why astrology is not a junk science. Have we talked? We haven't done that one yet,
We've
right?
we've dabbled. You told me about your lovely friend who was in the military that shared something with you once that
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it was a
Yeah.
light bulb for you.
Right. I mean it's based on the premise that the moon pulls the tides and our bodies are 80% water. So what's happening to our water bodies when the moon is in different places? We find that it's a weird phenomenon when the full moon is out and people are acting crazy, or like a bunch of cops are pulling people over, or I don't know, just crazy things. People are setting off fireworks and it's like There's no reason that a bunch of people should have all had the same idea at the same time, or should have, been going through the same like rage fest at the same time. And I mean, I'll even, bring in my own experience with this recent, was it Leo moon?
Leo new moon.
This Leo new moon and Mercury retrograde. So, if it's Mercury who's retrograde, then communication is bound to break down. And when it comes to the moon, I mean, the phases shift more frequently. So, we get a like a weird pull in that direction, like every couple of days we get a new and different pull, a new and different tug from the moon, from Auntie Luna. And the other last week, Emily and I were both separately feeling it together, where she was going through her thing. I'll let you describe what was going on with you, but I was going through like this grief and sadness, and I just was like, felt like I was gonna cry for almost any reason. And I went to work having had a headache, so I took something for that. Having had, as y'all can hear, I'm having some croupy lung issues still from having been sick weeks ago. Just that goop is still in there trying to come out. And took something for that, and was like, I don't want to take a whole other thing, but I feel like I need a St. John's, because St. John's wort is great for just like evening you out when it comes to like your emotional state. My dad and I, after we buried my dog, his grandson, we would both wake up and we would go to the St. John's, and I would hand him two, and I would take two, and we would just pop them in front of each other
Aw.
and look at each other like with tears in our eyes and just go, we're going to make it through this day. And it would even us out, and we would be able to like not break down 1,000 times throughout the day. So I like needed that and did not give that to myself. And at work, I ended up with no headache, because I took something for it, with a little less coughing, a little less tickle in my throat, because I took something for it. But I cussed out one of my managers for the first time in my life. I'm such like a goody, like not like follow the rules all the time. Like I'll break the rules when I think they're really stupid, and I'll tell my managers like I'm not going to do that. But I'm not like the kind of person who will turn and be like, listen, punk, to one of my managers. But that's essentially what I did. We had a confrontation where I said something to him in a tone, and I let him know, hey, what you just said to me, not okay. And as I walked away, he said, watch your mouth. And the Leo moon pulled my spirit from my body, and it was all Leo, all force, all lion, that turned and pointed a finger in his face and was like, you watch your fucking face. And I stormed. I turned to get away and to be like, let me get out of here while I'm, before I fully burst into tears. And he was just like, go home. I've never been sent home before in my life from my job.
I'm so proud of you. It's a new experience.
I know, and I'm so proud of myself also for sticking up for myself, because literally I came back and people were like, we were rooting for you. We were like get him, Killian. But for me it was like, who am I? Who the hell just did that? That wasn't me. That wasn't me. And it was like I told my other manager later, it was a perfect storm. And the universe wanted me to break down that day, because it told me to take St. John's, and then it made it so that I couldn't. So it let me know, it made me aware, my intuition, my gut gave me an awareness that like something might happen if you don't. And I just accepted the consequences.
Yeah. Oh my God. That is the perfect example of like the moon is just like the astrology is working through us sometimes.
Right. Manifesting through me.
Yeah. Especially if you're a super open channel. Like it's hard to hold the awareness of like what's going on in our own inner circumstances and hold the awareness of what's going on in the astrological circumstances and then also like our 3D world experiences. It's a lot. And I love that you're just like surrendered to that flow of like, this had to happen. Yeah.
I mean, when you walk away from something and you're like, I really don't have a good reason for why that happened. Like I have 1,000 reasons for why that happened. That manager is always rude to people and he was testing me in that moment. And I was already sad and upset and I was ready to go home anyway. Literally 5 minutes before that, I was thinking the words, I wish I could just get sent home right now.
Oh.
And literally to turn around and have somebody say, go home, I was like, thank God.
Like just takes the apron off, throws it on the ground. Thank God.
Literally, literally.
Dang. Oh, that's even juicier.
I almost forget about that part because I'm like, it was 1,000 things and it was nothing. There was
Yeah.
no good reason, but 1,000 little dipshit reasons why this
Yeah.
happened. And then also, I guess if I give more credit to the universe and to my relationship with it, it wasn't nothing. It was everything to me. I needed to go home. I needed to leave work as quickly as possible, go to the grocery store, buy some ice cream, and then sit at home for the remaining 3 to 4 hours I would have had on that shift, where
Yeah.
instead I could just relax and not be in anybody else's space but my own and my ice creams.
Does that mean you got like an array of flavors or?
Oh, no, my ice cream possessive, like my ice creams.
Yes.
It was,
Yes.
but I did get like a kombucha that I love. I got 2 new kombuchas. I got a coconut water. I just went like our grocery budget doesn't matter to me in this moment. Right now,
Yeah.
I got sent home from work. This is crazy. I feel crazy. I feel upset.
Oh my God. Yes.
I'm just going to like feed that inner child who's just like, I want these chips and crackers, and I want this soda, and I want this sweet, and I want this salty, and I want a little bit of everything, and I might not even eat it all today. I'm just going to have it available to me. that
Yeah.
was my that was my moonifesting ritual, was like, oh, okay. If you're gonna turn me into this like crazy person who is just like ass out at work, then I'm just gonna go and take care of myself. I'm just gonna go and let it all hang out.
Dude.
What else can you do?
Yeah. Like fuck the little treat budget right now. It's not important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, right. There's something here too around like the ways that our world sometimes asks us to show up when we're not in a position to show up and like deal with twats. Like I'm in a position to show up if like everyone else is like being cool and like keeping their centers, like I can keep mine, but if you're going to while out at me, guess what? Like I'm
Um,
right there.
I'm on the edge, and honestly, like the only thing that's keeping me from tipping over that edge is I need this job. I live under
Yeah.
the system called capitalism, and the colonizer view that we have on, how we show up is you're supposed to hold it in and you're supposed to go home and scream into a pillow, if that. Otherwise, you stuff it down with medications that you get from your doctor.
Or the
That's it.
bar.
Or the bar, right? You abuse substances. You don't let yourself scream in public. That's unacceptable,
Right. Oh my
darling.
God. I know. Dang.
Literally, I thought that I was safe at home one time. This was during quarantine. I thought that I was safe at home one time and that nobody was around, nobody was in the house. And I just ripped the biggest scream and was just like, sometimes you like need to hear yourself scream to like know, to like let your body be fully in it. Screaming into a pillow, it's like nice, but like
I know.
sometimes you just want that reverberation to like really hit you. You scream in the car and you're just like, yes, I'm feeling pain. I feel my own pain right now. I'm like sitting with it. I'm honoring it by listening to my own wails of pain. And so I screamed in the house, and my sister and her partner had been out in their van on the other side of my parents' yard. And they came in thinking that like my dog had died or something crazy happened. And the way that it played out was not like, okay, nothing bad happened to you or anybody, but clearly, like the way that it played out in my head should have been, in hindsight, should have been, okay, you guys are fine in body, but you're obviously not fine in spirit.
Yeah.
Can we talk about this? I'm gonna go and re-regulate because that really triggered me, but I'm gonna come back and we're gonna talk about this because I love you and I care about you. It was not about that at all.
Yeah,
It
not.
was very much the colonizer standard of you keep that shit to yourself or else you disturb other people. Which brings me to one of my favorite things about moonifesting, which is I was moonifesting with a friend while visiting her in Austin, Texas, and we're outside. Oh no, we were in New Jersey when she had her old house, and we were outside by a bonfire and just like wanted to just like howl at the moon. And I was like, I want to howl at the moon. And she was like, okay, we'll do it. And I was like, I don't want to disturb your neighbors. And she said, let them be disturbed.
Yes.
And
Right.
that's one of the things that I carry with me now whenever I think of like, oh, would a colonizer do this?
Right.
I
Let
always
them be
repeat,
disturbed.
yeah, let them be disturbed. They'll get
I
over
love that.
it.
Yeah. I mean, like, I know when I'm in the throes of those kinds of emotions, like, I don't give a shit what anyone else is feeling about how I'm feeling. I'm like, that sounds like you stuff, you know? And then when it actually comes time for me to maybe take accountability and responsibility and hear someone else's experience of me losing my shit, I'm like, oh.
It's like I understand where you're coming from, and also that was my shit and you didn't have to take it. I know you were in
Yeah,
proximity to it, but proximity doesn't mean that it has to be a you problem. That was a me
right.
problem.
Yeah. Thanks for seeing me. Thanks for witnessing me.
Thanks for witnessing me. Hmm.
Dang. Okay, so this was your between the Leo new moon and the Aquarius full moon. That was your like big blow up.
I ripped it. Yeah.
Yeah, she ripped it.
I
I
ripped
love
it.
that. I make no assumptions that this will resonate with you, but I wonder if it will. And with anyone who's listening. So my ripping it over this past moon cycle, so from new moon to full moon, I caught myself being typical Leo Deacon 1, overly defensive and like about nothing. Just like fighting about nothing. Fighting to fight like a lion wrestling on the savannah. Like, why? Why? I just want to tussle. I want to be right. It's so important to me. Like, oh, it's very, very annoying. And it feels like this kind of like stickler energy. And my sister and I like got into it a little and we were able to like stop, drop in, reconnect and witness each other. And also easier because, yes, we were not raised by the same people that programmed our triggers. Woo! We love stepsisters. But that was my new moon experience of like, oh, I see myself being overly defensive about nothing in this like low stakes situation that got resolved. But as it grew into the full moon, and we're at like last Monday, having talks with my partner about how some of our needs that are different from each other impact each other, I turned all of my aggression and defensiveness in on myself. And it became one of those like, I'm not going to, but it would be so cool to unalive myself right now and not deal with this because I feel so horrible. I feel so horrible that I've made someone feel so horrible, that I've influenced someone else's experience of feeling horrible. And I'm just like shooting myself with second arrows, third arrows, fourth arrows, fifth arrows, one more for good measure. Like, ooh. And it was deep, man. Like, I needed to clear that. And I needed to be witnessed like really by myself, but also to have my partner witnessing like, oh, like this is really present for Emily. She really does like feel it deeply. She's not fucking around. She says she feels it.
Right.
Rough. Rough. And spent all of Monday just crying in bed, exhausted. Took like 120 steps that day. Like, did not do shit and needed to not do shit while the moon was yanking on me and I was like getting got.
Yeah. It's one of those like it's a thousand reasons and it's also nothing. And it's also one big great reason. Like it's so many so many tuggings and pullings at once and you kind of just have to go with it. I mean, the thing that I tie between our stories is that it's like, you know, experiences where I mean, mine was also it's to talk about the collectivism of Moonifesting. Mine was also centered around defensiveness
Yeah.
and needing to be right because the person that I fought with, that's the core of his character. I mean, when my manager, my head manager, and I talked later because he's not my direct manager, but when my head manager and I talked later, we both agreed. We were both like, "Oh yeah, that's he has trouble with being defensive and not being able to say that he's right in a situation. He has to be right." And to have that sort of like hyper focus on this one particular issue between both of us really, yeah, I think ties it together. And also, something that I'm hearing is that these are stories of reactivity that could
Yeah.
produce shame. And for you, you rode that spiral all the way down, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. Sure did.
And for me, I still kind of hear my sister's voice in my head when I don't feel shame about something that I think I should feel shame about, which is like, I got into I rear-ended somebody and it turned out to be such a little thing that totaled my car, but like, hurt their bumper just like a little teeny bit. And they probably went on with their lives and maybe got a ton of money from my insurance company. Good for them.
Mm-hmm.
But it was something that taught me a lesson. I learned the lesson immediately. And then I started talking about the experience without shame. And she was like, you should feel more shame about this. Like
Hilarious.
you should not be just fine and dandy with the fact that you hit somebody. And I was just like, what does it serve me to have already had that first arrow, and I was gonna say, oh, that sounds like the second arrow, and the fourth, and the fifth, and the 20th, because it's like, what does it help me that I got shot with an arrow, that the universe shot me with an arrow, and I was like, I'm reacting to this. And then to have other people see me and go, oh no, I feel another arrow coming. Oh no, other people are seeing me react to this. I'm embarrassed and humiliated. And now they see a different side of me. And now maybe their opinion of me has changed. And now and you get in your head and you go down the spiral.
Oh yeah.
What's the point of writing, and second arrowing yourself? But, in this situation, it wasn't as personal as what you were going through with your stepsister and with your partner. And,
Right.
like it's different sides of the spectrum. Like we can talk about this from like, we had very similar, sort of like themes that tied together, where all of this reactivity was accumulating. But we also had very different experiences and very different lessons that we took away from. That's Moonifesting for you, baby.
I know. Oh my God, that really is.
We're all going through
It's
the same things in different ways at the same time, and sometimes learning lessons at length.
Yeah, and it hits each of us differently, of course, like based on our astrology, but based on our conditioning and based on our upbringing and based on our childhood. So it makes total sense that the
Makes
theme is
perfect
there.
sense.
Overly defensive and aggressive. Hello. And then all the way to Aquarius, the coward or the Robin Hood full moon, which is us trying to get away with things. And I know I was seeing it for myself like, oh, this is about me taking accountability without being defensive and then without second arrowing myself. And like, that's what I'm manifesting. It's not a boat or a car or
Or
a new
Louboutins.
wardrobe. Yeah.
Right.
No, no, no. I'm manifesting growth through this area that I could see clearly on the new moon. I was like, "Oh, I have to work on this." So for the rest of that phase, I'm getting opportunities to work on it. And
Yeah. I find that, with Moonifesting, with uh, sort of channeling what the universe gives you, as in like where the planets are moving and how it's affecting you personally, I very much find that simply being aware of the thing
yeah.
is enough, but setting the intention to notice more is the game changer. Is the thing that that helps you to pivot through things, so that you're not like taking the same path every time. You can have awareness and then you still walk through the path and you still fall through the same rut, and you know what the problem is. But as soon as you set the intention to notice what's happening in the moment, so that it's not
Mhm.
like hindsight, where you're learning lessons in hindsight. You learn the lesson in the moment and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm reacting differently. I'm doing something different now. Oh my gosh, what do I do with my hands? um
Yeah.
you know uh, you start to like feel the shift. You start to be
Yeah.
able to like, even if it's just like by 2 degrees, you pivot. And that's what the moon is doing all the time, just a few degrees.
Exactly. I was like, I love that you just said, even if it's just by 2 degrees, because that is what we're doing.
Right.
Just, we're getting a ride every, what? Like,
We're
what's
getting a
the,
ride. Ooh.
yeah. Well,
Is
we're
it?
getting a ride really every 6 to 7 months. It's when the moon cycles through and comes back to its own same sign.
Mm.
And as that moon has just shifted from 10 degrees or like 0 to 10 degrees the first time. The second time we see that moon, it's going to be at 10 to 20 degrees. So we're like graduating our earth school and moving on to the next lesson. We're learning our Aquarius lesson, then we're learning our Pisces lesson, and then we're circling in a longer way, right? We're doing this over years and years and decades. And it's like you have to stay clean. It's like your every room in your house is getting swept out if you're both using awareness and intention. And that's so important. I'm going to hit my mic again about it cuz like
Smack.
being aware isn't enough. Like being aware and not changing is literally worse.
Yeah. I mean, that's when you feel stuck too. Like, that's when you feel like you're kind of trapped in a life that you don't have control over. And that's what
Right.
everybody wants to feel like, is it, maybe even if you don't have a ton of control in your life, you at least want to have the sense that you have control. So, like, if you are listening to this and you are a teenager living with your parents and you literally don't have control in many ways, this is your opportunity to look at connecting with, these intentions and these themes that are going to cycle back over and over throughout your entire freaking life.
Yeah.
It's your opportunity to say, you know what? I can't change my outer world, but I'm going to change my inner world, because that is what I do have control over. And no matter what age you are, when you set intentions for changing your inner world, your outer world starts to change too. You start to act different. You start to treat people differently, and they treat you differently. And then you're saying different words than you ever said before. And those become magnetic to what you want. So it's like, you might want to manifest like a wonderful cabin in the woods. And to get there is not necessarily to go looking for a cabin in the woods, but to look at the part of you that wants to be isolated from other people. What is that
Mm.
about? That wants to, go and connect with nature. What is that about? The
Yeah.
intention to be curious about what you've become aware of changes everything.
Yes, that's like a perfectly described manifesting cycle. It really does have to shift inside. There's a reason we're not seeing some of the things we want on the outside. And it's just because we're not energetically aligned. We're not in the space that we need to be in. And like maybe just we as a collective are not in the space we need to be in. So when we're talking about change on an individual level, we know that that can shift the collective. But to have even more people in the collective that are aware and intending to grow, like that can shift everything for all of us. And Lord knows some shifting would be lovely. Some shifting in the direction of intentional awakening as a collective.
Wouldn't it be nice if everyone woke up?
Right? I know. It's it reminds me of our mistress circles and all the schemes that people have every time we do. If I was really a bad girl, I would, you know, dose everyone in the world at the same time and play them Ram Dass and or I would lock everyone in the basement, everyone in the world, and make them listen to Esther Hicks or
Yeah, or I would just like, yeah, I would infuse the water supply with
yeah.
like, a microdose level of mushrooms or whatever, and yeah, like have everybody's third eye go, "Pah!"
I see everything all of a sudden.
Oh
Yeah.
frick, I see you now. Because that also is like, while we talk about moonifesting, and a lot of, spiritual coaches and stuff out there want to sell you manifesting in terms of like getting what you want, or getting the relationship you desire, or finding a new job, and like we were talking about things.
Yeah.
if we look at it on an individual level that affects the collective, then we also start to see that, like, when you change, you're able to change other people, and you're able to have different conversations with folks that kind of help loop them into their own awareness. And,
Yeah.
awareness without intention is not going to create change. But hello, just planning around your own individual intention to help other people become aware of what they want in life and whether or not their values are connecting with what they want in life, that helps the entire collective go, oh, we're going through the same thing at the same time in different ways. Oh, okay. Now I have compassion for you. Now I have more grace. Now I have more patience. Now we're like
Mm-hmm.
seeing each other through God's eyes. It's totally different.
100. 1000%. Oh my God. Yeah. The ripple effect. That's really that's the why of moonifesting, really. It's not just for the individual, although yes, like, but don't forget we are all interconnected deeply, and this is a rising collective. So do your part, make your pentacles. Yeah. And of course, like, it feels lovely as an individual to get the things that you want. And I'm just going to say one more thing, that don't try to manifest people. That's fucked up. People aren't things.
Don't try to manifest people, because you also end up so disappointed when they are not, when they're everything that you wanted them to be, but you left a lot of important information out.
Right.
Like we were talking about in the Venus episode, it's like they're tall and they smell good. mm,
Is that enough?
Great. Do their values align? Do they want the same amount of kids as you? Do you even know how many kids you want? Why don't you manifest your own awareness first?
1000%. This is why we don't fuck with a lot of synastry in my house, because we're just working on ourselves first. And it's not an individualistic thing. It's a,
Mm-hmm.
how can I show up the meest, most authentic in my potential me that I can be, so
And
that
it's,
I can then attract.
yes, like you want to attract the best for you, and also you don't know what the best is. You really, take it from me, you freaking don't, because I had a list. I had, you know
Oh,
about
yeah.
this because we were doing a lot of manifestation in women's circles together, and I would, like, you know refine my list and refine my list, and on my list used to be like, they can't smoke tobacco, no nicotine, nicotine free. And as soon as I realized, like, oh, that's limiting my pool of people that I could meet and that I could fall in love with, and that also is very controlling, because that is my way of trying to control somebody else's health and somebody
Mm-hmm.
else's perceived longevity. Like, I want to be with somebody who, isn't going to be stinky, who is going to last a long time because they're not putting that in their body. I'm making
Yeah.
all of these assumptions about nicotine users. And then I meet Wilson, my partner, and here he is, somebody who smells good all the time, don't got a problem with kisses. Okay, there's maybe been like 3 times in 3.5 years that I've had to be like, you need to brush your teeth, because it's kind of
Smoking.
building up, something's happening in there. But otherwise it's like, I would not have had all of the wonderful values aligned, personality traits really resonate and connect with somebody, and like have them essentially delivered to me on my doorstep, if I had been like, I am manifesting the exact perfect specimen that I
Yeah.
that I want. Me, want. And like,
Exactly.
manifesting is also like I think something that I hear in meditations that irks me a little bit is like, you're becoming better so that the world can become better, so you can model for other people, so other people can, learn from you. You're here to heal people. You're here to heal the world. You're here to heal and serve and do all these things. And I'm like, yeah, I kind of, I resonate with, yeah.
Can I have some fun?
I really would like to make the world a better place, sir, but I also can't take responsibility for everybody else's joy and happiness and their growth. And also, I'm here for me, like I'm meditating for me right now, and I know that that will ripple into the collective, but I don't want to think of the collective first. I want to think of me first, but then there's that selfish I want, right? That we have, there's, it's such a fun dance of like, how do I surrender the ego part of me that thinks I need a certain partner or a certain house or a certain job to really embody who I really am and who I really think that I am? How do I surrender that and also go, but who am I? But who am I actually? Can you help me refine this? Can you help me understand that? Can you give me more so that I can have mirrors in my life to help? And maybe that is a new house and it has a lot of the things that you thought you wanted. But once you're living in it, you're like, this is different.
Yep. Oh
I'm
my God.
learning what I like and what I don't like now. Well, shit.
Exactly. That's what it is. Like, if you have that kind of puss to the wall, bulldozing, manifesting, brat energy, which we have both done, BT dubs, I am not throwing shade. You will get the thing that you want and it will slap you so hard because there's going to be something there. Like, for me, it was so shitty. Manifesting being in a polycule. Manifesting being in a loving polycule. I said it on a call in front of like 700 other women, and the lead coach like called me out and she was like, "Yes, yes, queen." Come a year later or so, there I am in a fucking disintegrating hellscape of the polycule that I thought I had manifested. And of course, it was a reflection of where I was. It was reflecting to me like, bitch, your nervous system isn't ready for this. Like, you might have read all the books, but like, you haven't embodied and experienced this. So, like, it's not going to be as easy as you think. Oh, yeah. And also, maybe you are doing this because it's a reflection of your core abandonment wound, man. And I was like, oh, well, fuck me. Like, I just manifested the same flavor of trauma that I had been repeating throughout my life. Like, that's how we can manifest too. And it,
Yeah.
this is like fuck around and find out witchcraft.
Oh,
Like, a
yeah.
lot of us had to like go make the mistakes in women's circles and get messy and come out and be like, oh my God, rough. That was rough.
Yeah. Like we're manifesting with the intention that our lives are going to get better.
Yeah.
And sometimes that means that we have to backtrack a little bit, or, that we get shoved off the cliff where we thought we were going to see an exquisite view. I want to go stand up on that cliff because I think there's going to be an exquisite view. And the universe gets you there. And you're like, the exquisite view is polyamory and a polycule. And then while you're standing there, you're like, actually, I'm really weak from this journey and I'm really tired. And whoops, I passed out and I fell off the cliff. And now I'm
Right.
broken at the bottom. And I have to learn, like, what was the point? What was the meaning of this?
What was the point? To become a cautionary tale on a podcast. No, not really. But
The fuck around
truly,
and find out of it. Yeah.
yeah, of course, it catalyzed some of the healing I had to do, like you were saying, it's like we're in a video game sometimes. And if there's like a thing you haven't dealt with and you have proceeded to level 2, but you don't have the magical key because you didn't do that side quest back here, like, guess what? You got to go back. And it's, of course, it's not like an up and down journey. It's, we're going laterally and through worlds and dimensions, but I had to go back and do my essential adoptee attachment healing. So in that way, I'm grateful. But like maybe from the beginning, I could have asked healed attachment. In a 1 year, I want to have healed my adoptee attachment issues. And
And
what would have happened? Who knows?
and the same thing might have happened. You might have
Right, right.
needed to learn it that way at that time. And also, every time you go through it and you're like, that was really terrifying. You get to, reflect, which is a part of Moonifesting that we were talking about. You become aware, you set the intention, you follow through and you observe and you take action, and then you reflect. How did that serve me? And, was I struck by an arrow that time? Did I feel like the universe was like, oh, we need to trigger some pain so that we can reactivate some healing? Or was it very much like I fell down and people like carried me? People came and just like, like light as a board, stiff as a feather, just like floated me, carried me to the next phase and the next place where I want to be. Like, the
Oh,
energy
yeah.
behind, the actual experience of like observing yourself going through the changes that you want to see or the opportunities to change that you've been hoping for. It's all different. And sometimes it's like a messy, chaotic slap on the ass and, somebody blowing a raspberry on your belly and you're like, stop. Stop. I know that
It's
I'm
not
laughing.
funny.
I know that I'm laughing and giggling, but stop. And then sometimes it's like, oh, I'm like wrapped and cocooned in this really tight shell of this version of myself, and I have to wriggle free, and it's a very slow little process. Like there are just 1,000 different ways that it can look when you're witnessing yourself through the the phase where you're like, oh, this is the find out. Like I fucked around by asking for a particular thing to happen. I fucked around when I
Yeah.
set the intention. I'm finding out. And it could look like
Yes.
anything.
It really could. It's true. I mean, just reminding us too, those cycles through each decan of the moon show up every 6 to 7 months. So that's like pretty long game. I know a lot of us when we're manifesting are like, I want to see it next week. I want to see it by the end of the month, by the end of the year. And it's like, well, we're not even going to get through all of Aquarius in 1 year. So the moon isn't like on our timeline. We could be on her timeline. Like petition for the sidereal calendar to be back and operate on a 28-day cycle with 13 months. Anyone? Anyone? Shall we overthrow?
I would love that. I think we need
Me
that.
too. I know. Shall we talk phases? Let's talk phases.
Sure, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So what part of the manifesting, what part of the alchemy recipes make sense with what phases of the moon? This is what we want to get clear on, because you'll hear at a lot of full moon circles like, okay, we're manifesting blah 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 blah, and I'm over here with my Virgo rising.
Actually,
Actually, you've already manifested by the new moon, by the full moon. So let's start at the very beginning when we have a new moon. What is a new moon? Like, it's nothing, right?
well,
We're
she's
not even
there.
really.
She's dark though.
Yeah,
She's in hiding.
we're seeing the moon without the sun shining on it. So it's not illuminated. It's just out there in space, but it's still there.
In shadow.
Exactly. So it's like the energy of a germinating seed or an embryo, like in the dark still. We probably don't exactly know what's coming, but we might get a hint of what we can focus on manifesting for that phase. And we might have already looked at our moon calendars. We might have ideas about what we want, but until you get to that day and you feel what's going on for you, like my defensiveness, I was like, "Oh, that's what I'm going to work on." Thank you. Thanks, girl. Auntie.
Here it is. I've received my assignment. Thank you.
Exactly. Right. We got to tune into that. So new moon is our time to like plant seeds of intention, to set intentions, to get the assignment and to understand what it is that we're working on growing for the next phase until there's a full moon. Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns?
Yeah, I mean, it helps to connect the darkness of the new moon with like the darkness of a seed that's been planted. Because it definitely helps me to remember, like, oh, that's what this time is for, is to
Yeah.
just put it in the ground with trust and with faith that over time there will be enough nourishment that it's going to come out. But I can't just, it's like watching paint dry or water boil. Like I can't sit there and like stand over it and go, "Where are you? Bear me fruit already, you piece of shit." So
Mm-hmm.
very good to have that key imagery in mind.
Yeah. I love the imagery. We're visual learners over here, so it works. So the like of course then from a new moon, total unillumination, we get the little crescent. Energy is building. Now we're really starting to see what we're weaving. And when you get to the first quarter, so that's when you're seeing like a half moon, this is when your manifesting is happening really consciously, one would hope. And you probably know by now that there's an uncomfortable action that you have to take. There's something now that you got to do. You just figured it out. I got to do something. And that happens on the first quarter. And like if you don't do it, if you ignore the call, like the rest of the moon phase building to full is going to just show you what didn't get done. So maybe it's like there's a job I need to quit, or I need to have a conversation I've been avoiding, or I actually really need to make this change for my health and I'm going to do it right now. Like you can use the energy of the moon. She's not just like fucking with us all the time and pulling us, but we can tap into the energy of this giant celestial body hovering so close to our rock and use the energy to help yourself build the life that you want, the you that you want. And that's your first quarter. Uncomfortable action. Just do it. Jump in the water. Get in the water.
Get in the water. Okay, great.
Right. I'll mention too, like, you can look at the phases as masculine when we're going from new moon to full moon. Masculine meaning that, like, we're taking action, we're in our consciousness. We see everything that's going on. It's kind of happening on the surface. And you can, like, game this too. You can exercise and do breath work and like create altars and ritual during this time that helps you manifest the thing that you want to do. I'm just like literally reminding myself more spell work, honey. Yeah.
Yeah. More ritual, more
Mm.
sacred treatment of the intention.
Exactly. Yeah, like actually do something with it with your hands and your mind. So then by the time we get past the first quarter and to a full moon, we now have the sun illuminating the moon, which is like the ego is shining on our emotions and showing us here's everything that you manifested during this cycle. Do you like it? Do you? Do you? Which is like the hard lesson sometimes to see like, not all of this. Not all of how I'm feeling is what I was intending. So that's good to know. Or I focus too much on like working hard. Maybe I'm like the little Virgo dude we looked at today, just like stacking chips for the Dark Lord. And like I forgot about my mental health for the past 10 days. Whoops. Now you know, now you see it. You can't unsee it. It is illuminated. What's going on in your life right then when the moon is full for those like 3 days, that's what's happening. And yeah, we're like just passing that. We're just out of that from our Aquarius full moon.
I have like a question for you in the form of just a curiosity about timing, because as we were talking about, like Virgo, for instance, is not going to hit zero again for 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So, or 6.5, I guess, because yeah, sidereal and all of that. I'm I'm wondering if you feel okay. I guess I'll ask this from my own point of view. I feel like when I set intentions, I don't often see the same intentions fully manifested by like, a 28, 30-day cycle. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because we're also cycling. Like we set an intention on like Libra, or we set an intention on
Yeah,
Aquarius. And I'm wondering what you think about the intentions that we set for that timing, showing themselves and manifesting themselves within a month versus within a 6 month, where whenever the moon is back in Libra, if you set an intention on a Libra new moon, whenever Libra weaves itself back through, that's the intention that you're playing with for that like 2 to 3 day period. And then you won't
yeah,
see the results until a full moon, Libra's full moon, 6 months from now, or 3 months from now, whatever like that kind of halfway point is. Because I always think that
mm-hmm.
everything takes 3 months to change, to like settle and to heal. Our bodies need 3 months to heal, is something that I learned. Like, if somebody has a TIA, a pre-stroke, their brain needs 3 months before they can start to retrain their brain to operate again. Um,
Dude.
so I feel like that 3 months is always like key to healing and to change. And I'm wondering how you feel about that being like the timing that people should shoot for in terms of like seeing specific manifestations. Like in my head, because of my Virgo moon brain, I just have this, and I had to go and write down like an idea for like creating a chart of like, on this Libra new moon I set this intention, on this Aquarius new moon I set this
Yes.
intention, and then watching every time Aquarius, an Aquarius moon hits again, like what themes are coming up, like what's happening around you, just bearing witness because you've set that intention to become aware. And then checking in and reflecting at the full at an Aquarius full moon months later.
Yeah.
Like, does that feel like a more sort of like, I guess, effective version of Moonifesting? Or is it like because our attention pans are cooking up things so shortly, because our attention span is so short, should we shoot for like a 2 week period or like a 4 week period to like check in and reflect with ourselves.
Yeah. Well, totally. I think it is both. And I do feel like understanding the long game is how we create long term lasting change. Like
Mm,
the theory of the it takes 3 months to really settle into a change. If you make a big diet shift, if you make a lifestyle shift, it does. That makes sense. So you have that time to practice and you have that time to reflect. And then the next time you see the Libra full moon or whatever, you get to reflect. Okay, last time I was here, I was going through this particular issue. Now I'm looking at it from a different perspective, but I can see this issue is still present in my life. It's kind of uh, the theory of the winding spiral, the upward spiral, right? Like we're going to keep circling the same themes. The moon's going to keep going through the same zodiac. And we're seeing it from a different perspective every time because we're at a new place.
right.
So, yeah, if you're trying to like heal your attachment wounds, it's not going to take a new to a full moon. That's insane. At least 6 to 7 months, maybe the full like 20-month cycle.
Right. And it's like if you want to heal mother wounds specifically, like wait until it's a Cancer new moon to set that
Yeah.
intention and then see what happens. Which zodiac sign would you use for daddy wounds?
It depends on what kind of daddy you had.
Mm,
Yeah, I mean, I think of something with like a strong Saturn influence, like Capricorn.
mm. Oh, yeah, Capricorn feels pretty daddy. Oh, and there's the father the father time warping
Hmm.
story in there too. So there is sort of like a fatherhood relationship, father offspring.
Yeah, right. But
Okay.
maybe your father is
Mm,
more Aries energy. Like, I don't, it
mm.
depends. It definitely depends. But yeah, I love exactly. When we started our year in my community with looking at all of the moons coming up for the year, this is what we're tapping into. It's not just like, here's some cool information. It's like, here's how I'm going to plan out my growth this year. Here are the things I'm going to be working on. Laid all out in front of me. Now I have like a long term plan that fits into my life.
And if you're not like a planny person, if you're a more intuitive by the seat of your pants person, that's okay too. There is a
Mm-hmm.
way for you to connect with the cycles of the moon to still reflect on what has happened. If you like go through like a really wild period and you're like, oh yeah, I can look at what was happening with the moon signs and what was happening with that energy during that time,
Mm-hmm.
and you can reflect on, oh, this is okay, this is what I was meant to be learning. Did I learn that?
Yeah.
How close did I get to shifting? And going forward, you don't always have to set the intention to grow and change the first time that you have the opportunity. You can set the intention because of what you've learned in hindsight to integrate what you've learned. So instead
Mm-hmm.
of like, I'm going to seed this growth and I'm going to see it later, it's like, I've already gone through some shit. And you know what? I actually can give myself a little more credit for what I have learned. And I'm not going to necessarily focus on like changing all the time or getting better all the time. But what I can do is say, you know what? I'm going to continue to practice giving myself more credit by virtue of saying,
Mm-hmm.
oh, I learned this thing. Now I'm going to see how many areas of my life I can apply it to. Like, oh,
Beautiful.
I learned to finesse things a little bit more. I'm going to see if I can do that in my relationships. I'm going to see if I can do that at work. I'm going to see if I can do that over here and over there. And what finesse
Mm-hmm.
means for like the objects in my life that are important to me, for the spaces that I create. What does that mean to me? What does that mean for those spaces? And have that sort of integration period, as opposed to
Yeah,
just like trying to hammer through things all the time, because as
you can't.
you can't. And I'm hearing a Virgo rising speak to the Virgo moon in me of like, oh yeah, it would be nice to just like look at my calendar and like create a calendar based on like color coding of like, you're going to have home disruptions during this time. You're going to have relationship disruptions during this time. You're going to have, but there's so much shit going on in the universe all the time that you don't know which angle you're going to get hit from.
Yep.
And Moonifesting, practicing intentionality through, observing cycles of the moon and figuring out how they are impacting you is very helpful, so that you can get into the practice of acknowledging like, oh, other things are going on outside of myself and they
Right.
affect me. It's very helpful. And you can manifest with just the moon phases if that's something that you feel really called to do. And also, there's this like expanded perspective, which is there's a lot of shit going on all the time, and it's
Yeah,
all
we're
affecting
only
us.
we're only talking about the moon right now, not any of the aspects or any of the other astrological things shifting around all the time. Yeah, I know.
So,
Whoa, don't get overwhelmed.
so don't get overwhelmed, and you
Yeah.
don't have to plan out your life around growing and growth. And if that's something that you're into, like, hello. It's so much fun to have that, yeah. Ooh, it's just so nice to have that um like bullet journal of truth, that you're
Mm-hmm.
keeping track of. And if the best that you can do is to, I see it as somebody like who's like water skiing and who's just getting dragged but is still holding on to the thing, is not even on their skis anymore. If you're at that point where you're feeling like you're getting dragged by life and
Yeah.
you're not even in a position to plan and to like figure out what your next move is, just get standing again and then figure out how the board works. Like, figure out how to stay on the board. That's it. Just integrate.
Right. That's, yeah, absolutely. Like, you can skip a lesson, it will come back around. Promise. That's what
Honestly,
we're talking about.
yeah. Yeah, you don't have to let every single little thing change you all the time. Sometimes you could just notice that it tried to and go, oh, well, but I do like, wait, no, but I do like this version of me.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's something else that I want to change about this. I think no to this lesson. I think skip.
Yeah. The nervous system can't do it right now. That's fine.
Yeah.
That's just being honest with ourselves. But like, this is also the perfect bridge to talk about what's on the other side of the full moon, because this is the feminine. This is where we're integrating. This is the shadow phase where, like, you don't really need to do anything anymore. Hands off the wheel. You've let go of your tow rope. And everything that has been set in motion is already in motion. And now you're just really getting to tend to your inner self and getting to tend to the quiet of what's going on after you've seen like the full reflection of everything that you have manifested and magnetized. Like, okay, now I'm just vibing with it as the moon starts to wane and you get to your last quarter moon, which again is when you get the half moon. And there is an optional reroute here. Like, if you're still not loving what has come up, if you're still feeling like, dude, I'm still being motherfucking defensive. Why? Okay, this is like, I'm going to use this energy as it's shifting to let it go. It's a release. That's what we're doing as the moon is darkening. And then when you're back at the new moon, you're back with that clean, empty slate again in a seed of potential in a new sign, in a new deacon.
Mhm.
And we get to play with that too. And that kind of completes the cycle. Like when you look at from new moon to new moon, here's everything that happened in my life. Whether you're looking at the astrology or not, it starts to give you a picture of like how you're getting tugged just gently, just gently. You'll notice like, oh, on the new moon, I'm always changing my bio and like the name of my business or my Instagram handle or whatever. Like every time you're hitting that blank slate, you get this like need to shift. And maybe that's the difficulty, is to not shift, to sit in it. Or maybe, I don't know, just an example. But you're saying, like when you're saying having a bullet journal, color coded, like it sounds like Charlie standing in front of his crazy board with all the strings, his like detective board, just in like full methed out delusion. Like if we ungrip a little in our minds and kind of ride the moon phases like you're surfing or just bodyboarding or sitting out in the waves, it doesn't need to be so much information. We can just know, like, okay, we're building to something and then we're releasing something. We're building, we're releasing. And if you take notes, if you journal, like for me, I'm in an astrology collective called the Metaboss Collective, and blogs come out for every moon, and we leave long, detailed comments of what's going on in our lives. So I can look back and see, last Aquarius moon, I was about to delete my OnlyFans. I was going through a breakup. Like all these things were happening. And now I can see where I am at this next one. And how has that graduated, shifted, or not? But yeah, take notes on yourself, people. You're so worth it. Your self study is an important part of your practice, man.
Yeah. Pay attention to yourself. You deserve it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the full phase. We go masculine, we go feminine. That's it.
We go order to chaos. We go
Yeah,
known and seen to unknown and surrendered.
exactly. The surrendered part. I'm just underlining, highlighting, and putting a star sticker right there.
And circling and
Yeah, yeah,
cutting it out and putting it on its own page in the collage where it's at the center. Surrender.
right,
Surrender.
right.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's the vibe. And then for all of us that bleed, we're layering on top of this our own cycle of like, here's where I'm bleeding, I'm down. Here's where I'm recovering and my hormone levels are rising. Here's where I'm going to have a spike of creativity. Here's where I want to be in a cave, and see how that lines up with the moon. Like, are you a new moon bleeder? You a full moon bleeder? Somewhere in the middle, outside, usually.
Yeah, it's nice to see it sync up and to wonder like,
I know.
oh, what's going on? What did I
Yeah.
need? What did I need to release? Um, Especially when we talk about, menstruating. It is whenever I've gone to Inipi, which is sweat lodge, um, the people who are bleeding and are on their cycle at the time don't enter the lodge because they don't need it. They don't need to be smudged. They don't need to be whatever. They are doing their own cleansing. They're on their own journeys. They don't need the intensity of some kind of like really powerful lived experience. That powerful lived experience is happening inside their bodies. Um,
Yes.
and to find that it syncs up with a certain phase of the moon and sometimes stays there for a while
Mhm.
is really interesting, intriguing. I don't know that I have like my own sort of scientific approach to like why it happens or what those sort of conjunctions, like mean. But ultimately, for me, it always turns out to be like, oh, I needed to um, like double down on my focus on this one area, or I needed to double down on the rest that I'm giving myself at this point, or I needed to double down on like really energizing toward a specific goal. Because that's how I see it for, as the moon moves from new to full to new to full to new to full over and over again. I just see it as shifts in energy as opposed to like periods
Mhm.
during which I should be seeing manifestations popping up. Like every
Yeah.
30 days, I should be seeing a new manifestation coming into my life. I don't see it that way. I see it as rising and falling energy in the same way that if you experience menstruation, you will know what that's
Mhm.
like and you will understand that that's what we're keyed into. But I also, wonder about people who don't experience menstruation. If they were to just pay attention to the cycles of the moon happening and
Yes.
whether their cycles of energy are ebbing and flowing uh, in alignment with the moon phases. I wonder if people who don't menstruate would find that helpful to them to, because when I menstruate, it's the same as like having herpes. It's like, oh, when I get an outbreak, I know that I'm really stressed, or I know that I'm treating my body badly. And then when
Mhm.
I menstruate, I'm like, oh, I know that I need to like chill the fuck out and give myself, a lot of nourishment and antioxidants and all of that. And when I'm ovulating, like it's time for me to like put my energy out there and put all of my energy forward into the world and kind of like channel this. So having those distinct markers that happen
Mhm.
every month or so is really spectacularly helpful in guiding us toward uh, when to use our energy or when to let go of whatever energy we have and just kind of release into rest. But I always wonder about like that synchronicity with the moon that we get, and also the synchronicity of the moon that people who don't menstruate have, that they could be experiencing and that they could be tuning into all the time to help them through their own understanding of how their bodies are changing on a regular basis, because all of us
Yeah.
have changing bodies.
Yes. I love that you brought that in. I've thought about this so many times, like how the moon, I mean, of course, when if you want to tap into the feminine, you tap into the moon. There.
Auntie
And
Luna.
Auntie Luna. And like the moon is also a surrogate womb for all of us, like the dark water shifting with the gravity of this feminine being. So if you want to have the experience of what a menstrual cycle is like, tune in with the moon for 28 days. And it's no coinky dink that a menstrual cycle and a moon cycle are the same amount of days. Like, I think it's available for all of us to get to experience that just in the same way that the sun rising every day invites us to experience the masculine hormonal cycle, and like as women with wombs, we've been invited, forced into a world that's really like set up for the masculine hormonal cycle every day.
Every day.
7 days,
Yeah.
7 days a week, 30 or 31 days in the month. Why? Just to fuck with our period calendars. But like, our hormones don't operate that way. And the moon doesn't operate that way, which means that on as a collective, there's half of each of us that's like, I'm not vibing with the solar cycle all the time.
Like, this is not the pace that I thought that I would be running at when I decided to come back to Earth and like try this thing again. It's getting faster and faster. The days are getting shorter, and I'm wondering why things aren't getting done the way that I thought they would.
Right. Yeah.
Hello,
It's
short
almost like I
attention
don't have
span.
yeah. It's like I wake up and I don't have the same amount to give, and I don't have the same thing to give every day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's
I wake
normal.
up with a different number of spoons to spend on any given day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Energy points.
Right. And this is something that you mentioned as we were talking about what we wanted to share in our circle today. You said something about using Moonifesting as a women's centered monthly ritual. Tell us.
Yeah, I found that women more so than men, and I'm just speaking from my own experience. This is not backed by data or research or anything. Like I'm literally just just speaking out of the experience on my own ass. Um, is women tend to really find a lot of peace and power in community, and getting together and ritualizing the practice of attuning to each other's energies, attuning to the universe's energies, um, on the full moon or even on a new moon, depending on just what your circle likes. If you want to go and howl under a full moon, or if you want to just be inside and do some dreaming together under a new moon, I found that it is a practice that really helps us retrain our minds and our energies away from individualism and toward collectivism. Because as I'm saying all the time too, and now my partner apparently is telling other people that, that I say this because he loves it so much. Women need to gossip. Like the
Yes.
art of gossiping is something that um, has been perceived as, or has been labeled as, a bad or a negative stereotype of women, and yet uh, you wouldn't have to stereotype it as bad if it didn't threaten something. And
And what
for
does it threaten, Kellyanne?
and for women to speak the truth to each other and tell each other about what's going on in their community, and talk about the people who are hurting people within their communities, and to talk about who is sick and needs and needs the community's attention, or who is whose livelihood is being threatened and they need support in that moment. Gossip serves to bring communities together and to um, expose poison and expose the toxicity within communities, so that we can suck the poison out and address it together as a collective. Gossip serves as a weapon against the patriarchy and the colonizers' way of thinking, which is that we must remain individuals and we must remain nuclear families of 2.5 or fewer children, or more actually in this day and age, as we near the Handmaid's Tale becoming even more of a reality for white women, especially, while the Handmaid's Tale has been a reality for many Black women. Um, we're in need of moonifesting and full moon rituals amongst women, so that we have opportunities to gather, and we can create spaces in which we are telling each other the truth about things, and we are dispelling myths, so we can start to create the world that we actually deserve to see and to experience. And another thing that I was telling Emily that I appreciate about Moonifesting and doing it in community with others is that, we wait in the United States to show our gratitude at Thanksgiving, barf, and
Mm.
to, shower each other with presents and adoration and, community laughter and stories during Christmas time or whatever holiday time you celebrate. Also, barf. Not to all religions and to all practices, but also a little barf to all religions and practices. Okay, a
Yeah.
little barf for everybody, but mostly barf for the Judeo-Christian religions. Um, we like wait, and we have holidays that are few and far between, and if we had practices where we're ritualizing getting together and sharing and feeding each other and nourishing each other with information and with food and with gifts and with gratitude, then we're celebrating each other more frequently. We're gaining knowledge at a faster pace, which is something that the patriarchy should want, right? um you know like getting things done quickly, right? But we also would get to have like these sort of holidays, these sort of moments to celebrate and to put a pin in the present moment. Because if you think back to your last Christmas or your last New Year's as the last time that you set intentions or that you set new goals for yourself, if you're thinking from one New Year's to the next, girl,
Dang. Yeah, I've already forgotten.
who even was I back then? I don't where did which of my
Literally.
12 journals did I write my I don't
Yeah. Well, not like truly to have other people witness you along that path too and tell you the truth about you sometimes is
yes.
so important too.
Yeah.
And like a community that practices loving communication and truth, honesty, the real.
The real
I
real, the
love
raw raw.
I love that you just brought up gossip. I have recently also clocked this and been like, wait a minute. If people are sharing information outside of their little nuclear family where there are different kinds of abuse going on, you're going to tell me that's wrong?
Yeah, there's a gatekeeping and a secret keeping
Mm-hmm.
that
For the
is
patriarchy.
necessary for the patriarchy to thrive. And it's funny how the feminine is used in all of the ways that it is abused when it comes to the patriarchy, because secrets are completely different when they're held by um, female led and matriarchal communities. Secrets
Mm-hmm.
look and feel and taste and touch very differently. They are more divinely ordained and sacredly kept and supported. Whereas, in the patriarchy in the world that we're living in, it's just we're keeping secrets for abusers. We're keeping secrets so that we can protect the wrong people, which feels
Yeah.
like a complete betrayal of humanity. And I wonder all the time why we're not gathering for like equinoxes and for the full moon. I mean, I just saw it the other night as I was coming home. The moon was sitting on the horizon and it was so big and golden. It was this big golden globe, and I was like, if only we all collectively acknowledged our wonder, our wonderment and our joy at seeing this thing, and also not understanding a whole lot about it and being okay with that mystery and being okay with there being different different kinds of secrets, you know
Yeah.
then we would be able to pivot away from secret keeping on behalf of pure evil. Pure evil.
Exactly. Yeah, it's different to hold a secret of someone's tender experience,
Mm.
a secret of someone's like hidden shame, than it is to hold, say a list of rapists and keep that from the world. Like, that is a secret that should be exposed, while the others, it should be exposed to dispel shame to a trusted human, but it's a different thing.
Yeah. The difference between it's funny how talking about manifesting automatically leads us to matriarchies. Um because the difference between like patriarchal and matriarchal standards for like structure and community is like, on the one hand, everything needs to look perfect, and on the other hand, perfection is what nature has already made things, and you're not like striving for gratitude, and you're not competing for the best. It's like the best is already here, and you don't have to strive for anything other than to be your own personal best at whatever like trade you've picked up or skill you've picked up. And that is the way that you are living in service to the community, not living in service to a 1% of the population that owns 50% of the earth's wealth, the world's wealth.
Yeah. Crazy. I know. Well, really, like, the TLDR of this whole episode is manifesting to take down the patriarchy and heal the divine feminine in all of us.
And that it takes time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we also have to add that caveat
Earth time.
is that it's not like it happens in a day kind of thing. Violent things happen in a day. Healing and community and true growth happens in seasons
Yeah. And
and
cycles.
cycles.
Yeah. Right. We have to be patient while we're here on Earth School. Especially, I'm saying that to my like ascended homies out here that are like, I know in other planes, like, I understand how energy and matter works. Why can't I just? It's part of the fun. And we all signed up to be here, or we wouldn't be here.
Yeah, we've adapted to the density of
Mm-hmm.
this place and the gravity that grounds us. And instead of trying to reinvent gravity or to tell it that it's wrong, the best thing that we can do, like we're not going to build moon boots, for this place. Instead, we should be honoring the grounding and finding ways to not use it in a sense that you abuse it, but to use its lessons to help us elevate the experiences that we're having.
Yeah. Move with it.
Yeah.
It's that easy. That's all. That's all after 2 hours. So I hope you all enjoyed this earful of manifesting, and I hope that you have felt some shame dispelled as we spilled our own manifesting triumphs. I'm gonna call them that because they are.
Yes. The glorious and the grotesque operating simultaneously.
Yeah, love it. Love the duality. Love the non-duality, actually.
Mm-hmm.
So, as we wrap, Kellyanne, what do you have going on in your world, in your
Mm.
community, on your YouTube?
I am excited to announce that I'm bringing back Free Reading Friday. Um,
Ooh.
I just re reset my availability at the restaurant where I work so that I can have Friday evenings available to me again. And I'm going to start doing free reading Friday on YouTube, YouTube Live.
Hell yeah.
So it's a fun experience that I love because, hello, collectivism. I show up and I say, "Hey, it's first come, first served, but hang on and stick around for the hour that I'm going to be here because if you're third or fourth in line to get a card reading, but you're listening and you're paying attention to what everybody else is getting in their card readings while you're sitting here waiting for your free reading, you're going to hear a lot of messages that you needed to hear too." You showed up at
Yeah.
exactly the right time and you are third or fourth in line because you needed to hear what card reading number 1 and card reading number 2 and card reading number 3 before you had to say. And it's just so fun to like see in the comments like everybody saying like, "Ooh, like that hit." Like that actually, I don't even know that, I don't even think I have a question anymore. I think you just answered it for me, because everybody showing up is like showing up to the same energy that they're all like prepared to receive.
That's so fun.
So
I love that.
it's super fun and I like it a lot. And if you're not following me on YouTube, you should be. I'm at V for Vibrant, VFOR Vibrant. Um, I've got like, gosh, over 200 videos on there now. And I'm the free reading Friday, bringing it back is just giving me so much life. So I'm
I
excited for
see
that.
that.
Yeah.
What time is it going to be at? Do you know?
I am toying around with the idea of making it, because this is what I used to do, is make it late enough Eastern Standard Time in the United States so that people on the Pacific coast could also like be off of work. So sometime after 5 p.m. for Pacific people, but that would put us at like maybe 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. But for a Friday, I mean, you should be good, right? You could stay up a little later
Yeah.
so you could get your free guidance.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm sorry. What are you doing? You clubbing? Just
right. Honestly, in my 30s, I'm like, what are you doing, clubbing?
well,
What?
not at 9:30.
Not at, oh yeah, and especially not at 9:30. Yeah, like 9:30 to 10:30 or 11, however long I have space available to give. I would love to just make that a ritual that I bring back.
Hell yeah. That's so cool. I'm excited. I can feel your excitement and I can't wait to show up and be like, I'm here, read me, and be the girl passing notes in the live chat cuz it's I love that that's like our culture now.
Mm-hmm.
Makes me so happy. Cool. Free reading Fridays with Kellyanne sometime at night. Stay tuned. Follow her on V for Vibrant on YouTube.
Yeah, I'm about to post some follow up videos and things like that with more announcements. So yeah.
Cool. Yay. We'll be watching. And for me and my community, we are back to tapping on Mondays. This will be the first night I'm back after I recovered last week. And from my quick spiral to hell, just popped back up. Here I am. We're good. And I am doing something fun for the rest of August. And everyone who buys their digital natal chart through me, which is like the birth chart of all birth charts with all of the notes and constellations and things that you can even research deeper into. So magical. When you buy that from me, it's $50. You get a free chart reading with me. And I'll just look at it with you and see what I see. If there's something specific that people want to focus on, I'll zero in on it. But yeah, I was just feeling also like so full. The cup is so full. How can I give back even more? Yes, get your chart, get a free reading from me for the rest of August. That's it.
Sick.
Yeah. I love it. I love to get my paws into someone's astrology, and it's especially interesting to see what people want to know more about. Like, where are we going to get like stuck in here?
Right. Like, what do you want to dig deeper into? That's always really fun
Yeah.
to find out.
Yeah. And other than that, I'll just offer the resource of subscribing to my daily moon calendar planner. You do need a Gmail to sign up because it's through GCal. That's how I can share it with you.
Mm.
But I have every single day the moon phase and what zodiac sign it's in, and a little prompt, something you can pay attention to for the day. And it'll take you through the long game moon cycles and any retrogrades or planetary alignments that are happening during the month, just so you have a quick and dirty reference. And that's $9.99 a month. $9.99 a month. It's a sweet deal. And you can do that on your own too. Like, I don't care. Just do it. Do it one way or the other or your own way, but the resource is there.
Sick.
Yeah.
Where can people get into the moon calendar?
Yes. So in my Stan store, so stan.store is Emily Iris Embodied. You can find this through my Instagram or in the show notes. You can just hop into the moon calendar subscription, and all you have to do is sign up for it and then give me your Gmail. There's been like a few people who have like not heard that part and given me their Hotmail, and I'm like, I can't help you here. So Gmail.
Okay, heard. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yes. All right, friends. Thank you so much for being here with us, and we wish you happy moonifesting.
Happy Moonifesting. Happy Moon Day. We love you. Thanks for joining us.
Oh yeah, Moon Day. Aw, sweet. That's